Welcome to another episode of Dinner at Lola. I'm your host, Jay Lee. Let's get into our awesome guests and my really good friends here tonight. I'm really happy they're here. I'm gonna start with my man, Affion Crockett.
Is that my camera? What's up, everybody?
Mr. Anthony Sparks.
Hey, thanks for having me, man. I appreciate it.
Rumer Willis.
Hello, my love.
And Mr. Kenny Florian.
Yes, sir.
What's happening?
How are you?
I'm gonna actually start with you. I knew about Kenny as a fighter because I used to watch Ultimate Fighter. Through some, mutual friends, we became friends on social media. And then, Afe, I've known you like when I first got here.
I was coming to audition for Family Guy. You were behind the desk stamping validated tickets. And,
right.
But you was cool. Like a lot of times the person behind the desk who's like the intern or the assistant or whatever, they act like they're the president sometimes. It's like, why are you being a dick? Like, I'm just... Right. But you weren't like that. You remind me of somebody from the crib. I'm from North Carolina, so, you was like, hey, what's up, man? Hey, look here, partner. Just have a seat, man. You need something? You was so helpful. I was like, this little dude's cool, man.
And we exchanged info, and then since that day,
A1 since day one.
I wish you were the person signing in when I was doing auditions in New York. They always thought I was the messenger, so that was always a great way to start off my audition. They'd be like, over there. I'm like, no, I'm over there.
When they're on their phones, like,
yes,
you're like, okay,
yeah.
Thank you.
Because nowhere on set will you have people that purposely piss you off or give you angst and expect a great performance. By that time, there's money on the table, you've been hired. So I want to make the platform as easy and comfortable as possible. So I just don't understand that mentality, why in the audition room they want to be,
jerks. Like, why are you doing this job if you can't find a way to bring some humanity into the process? Or at least not actively be a jerk.
Half the people that are reading with you are not even the people that really have a decision. Like, my mom told me something a long time ago because I had gone in on a few auditions and it had been really bummed out. And she was like, you have to realize it actually, at the end of the day, has nothing to do with you. You could literally make it through all of the audition process and some studio head, you look like his ex-wife or something that you said reminds him. And that's it. Yeah. It's so based on such minimal things that at the end of the day, and especially in the world that we live in now, and I think it actually relates with acting, with politics, all of it. We live in a world that's so based on kind of instant gratification.
Yeah.
And that desire and the buildup, I think, is gone from relationships, from acting, from politics, from all of it. It's all about
I blame it on the microwave.
Yes.
That's where it's
100%.
No one wanted to wait to put the goddamn food in the oven. And now you out here sipping on cancer.
And on that note, we're about to go eat dinner.
Be the corny guy,
Oh,
the
no, do
internet,
it.
the social media person that takes pictures of food.
Do it. I wish I had
waited.
waited because it's so beautiful. I grew up with a bunch of adults, so we would go to like adult parties and sit there while everybody was chatting, and I'm very thankful because I think I'm very much more well-rounded because of that fact. Nowadays, like, kids are literally on their iPads at dinner, and I'm really thankful because my kids will not have that.
So I think that's kind of interesting, growing up with such a famous family and famous parents. You still have this sort of like, no, let's all eat, let's sit down, let's eat as a family.
100%. No phones at the table. No, nothing. It's about connecting. You gotta have chats.
Record that with my phone real quick.
That's awesome.
For real though, like,
that's awesome.
back in the day, if you wanted to have sex, you had to like get dressed up, smell good, make an effort. And I said,
You had to dance too. You had to
You know
you
what I
had to
mean?
swing your watch. And
you had to have moves.
be impressive.
Exactly. But guys now, all they have to do is literally be like,
Swipe
right. DM.
Swipe,
Right around
literally.
to the
Get
left.
up in that DM.
That's all you have to do. Like, if some guy came up to me and was like, hey baby, is that a mirror in your pocket? Because I can see myself in your pants. I'd be like, no, you're not gonna get in my pants, but I really appreciate your effort.
Right.
Like, good try.
Right.
Like, I'd be so excited.
So you appreciate the line now. Like, that's
100%.
effort now.
Because that's effort.
Okay.
You guys still
Effort.
talk on the phone?
Yeah, I try to.
rare.
I like to FaceTime my sisters and my friends.
I just started texting actually like about 3 years ago.
Oh, really? Wow.
Just like 3. I didn't understand. I was like, what is that?
Yeah.
And I get it now, I get it, but I have noticed that if you don't like actively push back against sort of like us being anti-socialized, like wanting to have interaction with each other, it will happen to you.
Yeah.
It will happen to you.
Oh,
no matter,
yeah.
You know, and so, I mean, do you talk to your representation as much? Or
Oh, I fired my
do.
reps.
Okay, you're like.
I have to talk on the phone. I can't do
Yeah.
maybe I can't do it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Maybe
I gotta
maybe it's
talk
because I'm a writer, but it's I notice that I'm communicating with them a lot more through electronic communication. Right.
I tune out though when it's just words. Like I'll look at it and be like, oh yeah, I'll go on this audition. I'll show up and be like, what is this you just said?
Right.
Hell no, I'm not going in on this.
What were you about to say though?
No, I'm saying I like to talk to my reps
Yeah.
because they need to feel where I'm coming from. You
Yeah.
need to know how I feel, and it's not the words. It can get lost in translation.
Absolutely.
The emotion
100%.
behind it. And if I'm really feeling away, as you know, from firing people, when I fired enough people, it's like, look, you need to know how I feel about this. I'm not gonna give you the courtesy of an email because you can kind of hide behind that,
That's
and
true.
now you don't have to face me
That's true.
as a human being and be
Yeah.
accountable
Right.
for
Right.
not doing your job.
The separation started when you were like, oh, I can connect with people from a different part of the world or a different part. You can use this thing called a telephone and you can
Yeah.
call them up. And that actually in some ways brought you closer to those people. But now
Right.
it's bringing us
What's
further
division.
apart because it's even when in a conversation, like we are looking each other in the eye, there's something dynamic, there's something a little extra that happens when you're looking at someone in the eye
Yeah.
as opposed to,
Yeah, you have to feel that person's emotion.
yeah.
And isn't it the
Yeah.
worst when we're having a conversation and you're looking me in the eye, right? Like say whatever to
Yeah.
me, right? Say something.
Hi, how are you doing? I really
What's up,
don't
man?
like Jalen very much.
Nah, I feel you.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the
Which
worst.
is so
we're in that
common, by the
generation.
way. Yeah, it's true.
100%.
Yeah.
Nah,
And people
I
think
feel
it's cool to put you on
Yeah.
pause and be like, no,
You're
no,
like,
I'm gonna get
you're
right
like,
back
no,
to you,
but
but hold on.
I can multitask.
It's
And you're
become
like,
a
no.
crutch too. It's become such a
And they don't even
bad
say,
crutch.
hold on.
Yeah.
While you're talking and looking them in the eye. Yeah, it's
Well,
I got it.
imagine now trying to teach like middle schoolers. I got a middle schooler and trying to teach her. Just gave her phone, her first phone this year. Now
wow.
trying to teach her like, okay, you can use this, but like you can't disappear in your development as a person.
So because she has that those examples.
So I've got to work harder to be sure that she's able to be a human being
connect.
in 5 years
Right.
and understand how to, you know, because you're not going to get a job or get the loan to start the business in however many years if you can't go and sit in the room and have
what-
someone feel you.
Loan. You're so successful. Why would she need a loan?
Because she's gonna earn it herself.
Your daddy.
Talk about it.
It doesn't matter,
You're talking to
Jaylee.
somebody who's going to get her home from having successful
Don't even.
Yeah.
parents.
You still have to fight for yours.
Are you kidding me? I've been fighting for everything. I'm about to get some moves over here.
Listen, I'm the conduit. Did you find that hard or easy to do it? Because again,
It's hard.
right.
It's very hard because you have to like find ownership by yourself. Because I could have very easily been some like, I just don't want to do anything. I'm not going to work. But at the end of the day, I have so much more aspirations and goals that I want to do and things that I could do. But like I still have to count on my hands to do basic math. You know what I mean? Like, and there are just things that you trade off. But I think that finding ownership for yourself and finding your own self-worth in whatever that is so important.
When did you find yourself going, okay, this is who I am, this is what I do?
I had a near-death experience. So, like, I was in Brazil. I was doing martial arts, but I had like a full-time job. I was working at this like translating financial documents for like different financial companies, and I was climbing a mountain, and we kind of went off the path, and my buddy slipped, and we all laughed about it, and then I slipped, and I was going feet first down like a ledge, and my buddy went to grab me like this and swung me around, so now I was going head first off the mountain, and I kept going, and I just felt like air. And I was like, man, I can't believe I'm gonna die like this. This is crazy. And I just remember it felt like it was forever, I'm like, geez, like I'm in a different country, like
Right.
how are they gonna get my body off the mountain? I was like all these things.
Yeah, all those
I'm
things.
like, man, I love jujitsu, I love martial arts. I can't believe I didn't pursue that. That sucks. And then I fell like a little ledge, like probably the size of this table, and there was a rock in the middle. It was a rounded rock. I fell on a rock, and it's like wind got knocked out of me. It was probably like, I don't know, like 25, 30 feet. If I didn't fall on that ledge, I would have fallen hundreds of feet. So luckily, that ledge saved me. But I remember that was like that moment where I was like, life is short. Like martial arts is what I want to do, and that's what like got into my head. Like, wait a sec, no, this is what I. So I went 2 weeks later. I went back home, and I quit my job, and then I just like taught jiu-jitsu and trained, and then I had no idea I wanted to be a fighter at the time, but that's what it led to, and then that's how it went down. Yeah, and I think through jiu-jitsu I was able to find my own voice because it's, you know, it is an art, and you find your own interpretation of jiu-jitsu, right? Like according to your body, your mentality, and, you know, how you get things, how you piece together moves, and that's why I started figuring out like who I am, what I want to do, and it led to fighting.
It's too bad that didn't work out for you.
Right.
And that's how it went down.
You fought for the title multiple times.
Yeah, a few times.
You started off as an actor.
I started off as an actor.
And then did you turn to writing because you were hungry? Mentally and physically?
Well, no, I mean, no. Hungry spiritually, honestly, but not, I mean, I was fortunate and blessed. I was working, you know. I worked for 10 years as a stage actor. What happened was I got tired of going into casting offices when I was trying to do TV and film, trained as an actor, yada, yada, yada. And I just kept being told that, like, you don't make sense.
Right. You're not on any page.
Right. And
you don't fit in the box.
I don't fit in the box. And I would try to be like, you know, do the thing for the Law and Order audition. Yeah, motherfucker, give me your purse, you know, or I'm going to college, you know. I was like, I don't know, you know, all of that, and every like 10,000 iterations of that. And it hit me. I feel like depending on who you are when you're an actor, I feel like there's sometimes, even if you're very, very good and very gifted and all that, there might be one thing that you can't play because it just cuts against everything you stand for.
100%.
And for me, it was give me your purse. So I'll be very honest with you. Writing was a talent that I had. It was, for lack of a better term, it was also a political move. It was like, I'm tired of being told I don't exist. It's affirmed me in a way that like, I'm like, that's what I'm supposed to do.
Got it.
That's what, I don't know what you're supposed to do, but that's what I'm supposed to do.
I want to just actually talk about you for a sec, because you had your own show. Your show. It was all you know, on Fox, and you get it and then it leaves, and, you know, how do you deal with feeling like you have a lot to offer and still just going through the nonsense and you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's really about, you know, we like to separate ourselves from, you know, middle America and blue collar life, right? As creators or as creative people. But I really learned, especially at this point, this job is really more blue collar than we give it credit for. Every show gets canceled.
Right.
I don't care how successful how many seasons, every show gets canceled. So you see people from your favorite sitcoms at auditions with you now.
Right.
So what I mean by blue collar, meaning you have to have the mentality that you've never arrived, and that just because you have a certain amount of status or a certain position or you've gotten a certain amount of jobs, you can't ever have that air about you. The danger is becoming the actor or the creator who feels entitled.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And you think they owe you something. They don't owe you anything. So for me, it's just more so of, it's all work.
Right.
And at the end of the day, we can't get caught up in, well, what if they see me and they saw me on a show last week and they see me working a job now.
What does that say? Right.
Yeah, what does that say? We're so caught up in what people say. So even though we're all sensitive to what people say, even you as a fighter, I'm sure sometimes you want to know what the fans are saying on social media about my last fight. We all get caught up in what people say.
Right, right.
And it's just, if you can balance not worrying about that and just say, I'm gonna focus on what I love to do and just keep moving forward with a good attitude.
The biggest thing that I've learned, like, and what tripped me out when I was a kid, people like would see me or I would get attention in the media. And so it was such a kind of mind fuck for me because I was like, I want to earn, I don't want to be just known as this.
They were giving you the attention that you hadn't sought yet.
Exactly, or that I hadn't earned. Yeah. Just to go through everyday life, there's so much approval that you have to get to just to be like a human being. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
if your whole kind of existence and your whole value of yourself is just based on positive, and then if those go away.
If you believe the positive, you
Exactly.
also believe the negative.
Exactly.
What was the best loss you've ever had? Jeez. You know what I mean?
Mine was definitely the show. Because it was an opportunity. There was a sense of mourning to what I called my baby in this show. but I'm thankful that I got over it real quick.
You did.
Yeah. I went into an audition once and I like had really prepared and I really loved it. And I came in and they were like, you were the best actor that we saw and you're perfect for this role, but this person has more followers.
Oh,
Wow.
And it was just like, and mind you, like there have been many more than that. Like, look, I mean, I was joking with my friend, but like I'm 28 years old and I have been in this industry without like choice and then by choice since I was like 7 years old. And I finally feel like I just got my first like big girl job, like a real job.
And that is?
Empire. I'm working on it and I'm really stoked. But to have someone go, you're the most talented, but because you don't fit in some box of either how you look or whatever, you don't get hired because of your talent. You get hired because of your exposure.
Right.
I guess the one thing that helped my craft, there's two things. That helped my craft was losing on the finale of The Ultimate Fighter. I had trained for months, I got to the finals, did all the work, and then I realized that I was my own worst enemy because my fear overtook my skills. And I went out there and I was like a deer in the headlights and I felt like I circled the octagon for like 20 minutes. Just like, oh my God. I didn't know how to fight, I didn't know how to do anything. I was thinking about the contract, I was thinking everything but the actual moment in front of me. And I got my ass kicked. It literally hits you in the face and you're like, okay, what am I gonna do now?
Right.
What's the reality of what I was doing to become the best fighter I could be, and then just taking those steps to move forward.
Yeah.
And then this year, not to bring things down, but my youngest brother committed suicide. And I realized the importance of relationships, the importance of, again, appreciating the moment, appreciating everyone's life, and also understanding that you never know what anyone's going through. Like, you never know. Being a better human, like, that's one of those things that, like, it hits you to the core. You know? Yeah.
Wow. Well, thank you for even sharing that.
Yeah.
My turn. Wow, it's like real talk. Okay.
I thought y'all was gonna come for some jokes.
You know, I do this all day.
Yeah. Black people, black artists who have had some success ride this really interesting line. And I think this is true not just of black artists, but just like any sort of like charging, upwardly mobile, quote unquote, black person. This is, I think, something that we sort of quietly struggle with. You almost have to Jedi mind trick yourself into thinking that it's an equal playing field in order to get up out of the bed and go for it and give it your all. And then what can happen is you get just enough success to maybe
Start to believe it.
Almost
just a
sip
little,
from that
just
cup.
a little bit to sip from it, to drink the Kool-Aid a little bit. And then, so I found myself in a situation on a show where my contract was not picked up, and I knew it was coming, but I knew it was coming from the third day of work. I'm like, oh, I'm hired, I'm not desired. And then to realize you cannot do anything about this and what they are projecting onto you. You can't be that awesome. You can't be that good.
So
it's
crazy.
just impossible. What was good that came out of it, it made me go, why do you have a career?
Right.
Like you specifically. And it made me reconnect with that. And that's where I sort of found my power, except that I might not work on every project. But I was not given a career so that I could do, not that I won't do some of this, but so that I could do 10 years on some meaningless
Of course.
project. But that's not my path, and I had to get like real cool with that.
What would be a TMZ headline? Anthony Sparks knocks out such and such. What would make you fight?
Born
said-
after his
it's-
daughter.
It's right, she's right there. Somebody saying the wrong thing to my daughter. It's on.
My dad, he went on the Letterman show one time when and they were like, so, you know, your daughters are getting older and they're like about dating age. He's like, so, you know, have you met any of their boyfriends? He was like, well, I don't know, but like the first one that comes over, I'm gonna set his house on fire, cut his legs off, and watch as he drags his bloody stumps out of the house.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, thanks, Dad. So he ruined my dating life for pretty much forever. But I would say the karma is that he has 5 daughters, and so there's obviously something that happened. Like,
Brought on himself.
yeah, you know.
And I watched my dad, who's an Army guy. It's me and I have an older brother, so we were the first. And then my 2 sisters came later. My sisters could say whatever the hell they want to him. And we'd be looking at, is this the same fucking dude?
Right. I was gonna ask about how do we keep reinventing ourselves, because you went from fighting. Did you ever think you would be an announcer?
I would love to say that I had this master plan of everything I was going to do. I think that with anything, it comes down to like just finding out what you're passionate about, and then like working hard towards whatever that is, and like good things are gonna happen so long as you're ready to like work hard for those things. The universe is always talking to us, and you just kind of have to keep rolling with those things, whatever it is, and like listen and hear those things, and just keep trying to be yourself the best that you can.
We gotta wrap
So
up, but
good.
I got gifts for you guys. It's not really for you, but it's so you can give out. These are goodie bags. These are given to us by our good friend of the show. Peg Effect is an organization. Their motto is to empower through the cycle of giving. Each one of these bags are just necessities, and so if you're driving and you see somebody, you stoplight or you go out, if you guys volunteer,
Pay it forward.
Pay it forward.
That is
We're
cool.
talking about empathy and love, and just
That is awesome.
reaching out to people who might need it. So, Rumer, thank you so much for coming.
Thank
it was
you,
a
my
pleasure
love.
having you. Anthony, brother,
Absolutely.
right on. Afe.
Hey man, appreciate
brother.
you.
Kenny, thank you guys for coming. I'm your host, Jay Lee. That has been another episode of Dinner at Lola, and that ain't no Rumer Willis.